Okay, welcome to the third episode of Invisible Forces, the Genie Companion Podcast. My name is Ewan. You've met me already, but today we're here to meet someone more important. I would like to introduce our esteemed guest today, Duke graduate, resident American on the co-founding Genie team, decathlete at Duke, king of Duke student athletes, and international sensation is Michael Bennett.
International sensation?
Yeah. That's you. That's you.
I'll take it.
How are you doing today, Mikey?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good.
Welcome to the pod.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel welcome. This is a great venue you got set up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome.
I bet 100 people are gonna watch this.
100,000
people.
Many thousands of people.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm excited. So, as is customary, we're gonna start with some quick fire questions this morning.
Sounds good.
We want to get to know you. So if you're ready, we'll just jump straight into it.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Let's go.
What is your pre-game hype song?
Pre-game hype song. Ooh, I'm not a huge music guy. Especially for track, I know I kind of like to just, sometimes music kind of will get in my way a little bit. But in basketball, I really like Jump by Van Halen.
Oh, that's great. That's a good one.
Well,
Jump.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It kind of gets you right.
Yeah. No, I like that one. That's a bit of a staple.
It makes you want to go a little higher. So
What is your favorite lift exercise?
Power clean, no doubt.
Ooh.
That's the best one.
Favorite pre-race meal?
Pre-race meal? Fettuccine Alfredo with some chicken. Yeah, the night before.
Love it.
There's no sun.
Go-to coffee order?
Coffee? I don't know. I'm kind of new to coffee, so probably I kind of just like a chai tea, simple. Not even really a coffee. Maybe
chai, that's not even coffee.
I know, but maybe throw an espresso shot in there. Makes it.
Like a dirty chai. Okay, yeah, I see. What is your favorite NFL team? Who do you support?
Oh, go Broncos.
Okay.
Denver everything. Denver Nuggets. Best player in the world. Denver Broncos.
Love it.
Best player in the world. Bo Nix.
There's a proud Colorado.
That's right.
Native.
That's right.
Absolutely. What is one word that describes your role at Genie?
I'd say probably clown. Probably the class clown. I make everyone laugh.
Yeah, he's the personality hire for sure.
Yeah, I'm the DEI and personality hire.
Warm up or cool down?
Warm up or cool down? Warm up. Cool down suck.
Yeah. Good answer.
My mom always made me want to cool down after we did workouts and stuff. When she was my coach growing up, and I always fought her on it. I'm like, no, I'm going home.
No, we're going home. We're eating.
Yeah. I'm gonna
What is your favorite AI tool right now?
AI tool. I played with that. It's like a VO kind of UX design. Thing. That one's really fun.
Yeah.
You can really do whatever you want. I need to play with that more.
Awesome.
Beyond just ChatGPT.
And last one, what is give us an embarrassing moment, story of training or competition. Let the fans know.
Ooh. That's a good one. Well, I would say first one that comes to my mind was just really embarrassing was when I first got to college, I did not know how to pole vault. For listeners out there, pole vault is tricky. It's a tricky thing to learn. And so my coach, in order to get some experience, because I knew I had to learn, and so we were in Blacksburg, Virginia. We were at Virginia Tech doing a meet, and I'd never pole vaulted in a meet. And coach was like, "All right, you're entering the pole vault. We got to get some experience." And it's a college meet, D1 meet. All these really good pole vaulters are around, and the opening bar is 13 feet, which now is not a huge deal, but then I was lucky to get 11. I was barely doing anything, so I was just I just run down and try to plant the pole and just try to go kick it off. I remember seeing people laughing at me on the side. It was filming because I just had no clue what I was doing. And I was wearing a Duke uniform. It was just.
So humble beginnings for Mikey.
Definitely a humble moment. I was like, wow, go from the. It's tough. So going from high school to college, you go from wow, I'm pretty good at this. Kind of, you're what in high school, you're winning state, doing this kind of thing, and then all of a sudden, wow, you're the absolute worst, pretty much. So, yeah. Well, how that goes.
At least we can say you have improved a lot, because that is certainly not Mikey Bennett's pole vault these days. Awesome. So we know you are a Duke decathlete. We know you're a Duke student, co-founder at Genie. Tell the people what they want to know. tell us your humble beginnings. Where did you grow up? Where are you from? Give us the real backstory to Michael Bennett.
Yeah, the really engaging backstory. So I was born in North Carolina, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Which was really fun. I really liked it because I grew up. I lived on like the campus of Wake Forest University. So that was really fun because I got to kind of like grow up around the college life, around the college scene. I lived there till I was 7, so I'd kind of always be walking around, going to the quads, like climbing trees and things like that when I was a little kid. It was really just like one of those like really pure childhood things.
Yeah.
You're just like always exploring. That was fun. And then we moved to Denver, Colorado, and that's kind of where if you ask me, I say I'm from Denver because that's kind of where I identify.
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. Go Nuggets. Man, Nuggets should have won the championship this year. But yeah, then moved to Denver, lived there since, and yeah, it's been great. I love Denver. Ask anyone.
Yeah.
I talk about that plenty. So yeah, pretty much, normal after that, went to high school there, had a lot of fun. Lakewood High School, shout out the Tigers. Go Tigers.
And that's awesome. And then tell us, what brought you to Duke? You grew up in Colorado, went to school there.
Yeah.
What was it about the sunny Durham, North Carolina that attracted you?
I don't know. Yeah, it was just like kind of the recruiting process, pretty simple. Obviously, trying to get recruited for track. I did not grow up a Duke fan. I did not grow up a Duke fan. I was a Wake Forest fan. I remember storming the court when I was like 7 or 6, when Wake Forest beat Duke in basketball. So I was not a fan. But I don't know. Growing up, I think like I started to just kind of like become more of a fan. I've always been a huge basketball guy, so honestly, I've been thinking about like when did I really like start to like Duke? And I think it was shout out Zion Williamson. Yeah, maybe not right now. Yeah, some unfortunate news come out about Zion, but that was a really fun team. I really got into college basketball that year, like a lot of other people. And I don't know, I remember the kind of like something in me was like, wow, I'm cheering for these guys a lot more than I should or am letting on. So. Since then, I don't know. Like, hey, wow, I could go to Duke. They got a great coach here. Kind of reached out, and it was able to get a spot on the team.
Awesome. And you've alluded to it there. Obviously you're a decathlete on the team. We've heard that you're a huge sports fan. Tell us a bit about your background in sports. What was it about being active and competing in sports that kind of really, really drew you to wanting to compete at D1 level? I
don't know. Just in everything, like my whole kind of identity was kind of just based on like being like competitive.
Yep.
I don't know. I remember like obviously like I always got good grades in school, but it was never because like I don't know like I really cared about like, learning how to do math or like learning how to write. Like sure I did, and my parents were never like on me about it. They never like they weren't like checking my grades ever. It was kind of just on me. They kind of let me do that. And I don't know, the reason I think like, I did that was because, I don't know, I was just competitive. I didn't want like the other girls in my class or the other guys in my class to just get better grades. I don't know. It was just like, that just it's always been inside, like always been in me. So, I played tons of sports growing up. I played basketball, track, obviously tennis, a bunch of soccer, we need to go play golf soon.
Yeah, we do.
Like it's just everything. Like, and so it's all just because like I want just to like beat people and be good at things.
Yeah.
And I find a lot of value in just like, you throw me anywhere and I think, I'll be able to be, good at it. I can go throw a football or I can go play soccer. It's, I don't like, maybe only, I can't really skate that well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like that won't happen too often, but I don't know. Everything is, that's kind of where like a lot of my like drive comes from.
Yeah.
It's just this this really just innate competitiveness. I just want to be better than people. I want to
for sure
just do more.
Where do you think that comes from?
Probably my parents. My parents were both athletes themselves. I don't know. It just kind of just came like part of my identity growing up. It was like my dad was always like, you might as well just be good at what you do. There's no point in not. I don't know. Maybe it's just like this. Maybe deep down, it's like it's just like maybe like a little embarrassing to not.
Yeah, I guess it's like
something.
I
don't know. It's just like a noise in my head.
Yeah, like a drive for excellence. And I know you've spoken there that you do different sports. What what were your favorite sports growing up? If you didn't do decathlon now, where do you reckon you'd be?
If I wasn't a decathlete, I think I'd be playing basketball somewhere for sure. I love that sport. I watch it very closely.
Yeah,
obviously coming off great NBA playoffs right now, March Madness, that whole thing. I think And I think I was a pretty solid player in high school, so I think I could have been playing somewhere. I probably I don't know, probably wouldn't have gone D1, but I bet I was talking to a couple of D2 schools and things like that. So I think I, could have explored that route. Had a lot of fun doing that. I don't know. I would have been just playing, having a good time. I don't know. I just really love the sport, love kind of seeing the game, love that kind of thing. So I love that. I always really like playing tennis too. That's something I think I'll do, like obviously the rest of my life. I think it's a fun thing. I played that kind of all 4 years in high school. Same with basketball. So that was really fun. But I don't know if that's like necessarily that was ever something like for me that I anticipated doing. I never saw myself like.
And I think it's something
or something. So.
Something interesting to think about. Obviously basketball, team sport, track is an individual sport. How do you think that those different experiences like sort of shaped who you are now? And obviously very committed to track and field now. But it's certainly interesting.
Totally
having that experience in both sides.
I think one of the things I didn't like about basketball was having to like pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, you have to. Actually, like I love having like a team you can rely on and everything like that. But eventually, in basketball, you can kind of hide out there. You can kind of like. It's not a one-on-one thing. You can kind of hide behind your teammates if you're not having a great game. If you're not if you're not skilled in this way, you can kind of make up for it in other places. In track, there's none of that. It's like literally you're this good or you're not, and that's like kind of hard. But I don't know, it's just kind of better. It's just like it's really honest. It's really pure. It's like I am this good. In basketball, it's like you can have 30 points one night, but like not really have a big impact on the game, or you can have 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, and like make all these crazy plays, have a great impact. And that I don't know, you can kind of hide in different ways. So I love that kind of the individual nature of track, because it's just really just you. You don't have to rely on anyone, and it's just honest. It's you. Everything's about you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's my ego, but it is. But that's just kind of what it is.
And that sort of like leads me into my next question is we're all decathletes. We all train together. What is it about like track and field and I guess decathlon that really kind of sets you on fire and like makes you work as hard as you have to?
Great question. And again, I think, just kind of back to the ego thing. I just want to be good at what I do. And the decathlon's kind of like the perfect thing. Like it lets me be like as versatile as I want to be. I want to be able to like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I of course I'm biased, but I think decathletes are the best athletes in the world. I think you can do all these different events. It makes you super elite, but also like you can mix it around. You can do a bunch of other things. You can hurdle. You can jump. You can throw. You can do all these other things. I don't know. I just like I'm very prideful of that. I love doing decathlon. Training for just a 400-meter run is like Sorry, I'm no shade. All those guys are great athletes. I mean, I was just at the East Regionals running some 400-meter runners that are super elite. Guys on our team, and they're great athletes. They're tremendous. They can do a bunch of different things. I don't know, but for me, it's just I don't know. It's less boring. I like being able to mix it up. I like being able to, put your mind in a place that's, how do you say it? It's challenging to do the decathlon because you have to pick up so many things.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of what makes it so fun at the same time. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting because this is something that, me and Stuart spoke about in our last episode. It's all about this idea of challenge. And I think if you could go back to freshman year Mikey, the guy you said voted 13 feet in pole vault,
I did not go that high freshman year.
however high it was.
I remember that when I went.
What would you tell him? What's your advice to him? All these challenges that you talk about in decathlon, what advice do you give to your younger self?
I don't like to look back like that, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
I know. I think I'd probably give myself some like technical advice.
Yeah.
All right, when you high jump, do this. When you long jump, do this.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff that I kind of just had to have some growing pains through that I'm still working through. But I don't know, like in terms of like my mentality, I don't know, let's say just kind of keep chugging along. Like, obviously, you have to like change your expectations based on like, I don't know. It's hard to say freshman year because I just didn't like looking back. I didn't know anything. I didn't know like decathlon. I thought I was gonna come in and kind of dominate, and I thought I've done a good job, but I haven't necessarily like dominated the way that like your young kind of brain expects you to just be like the best immediately. So I was kind of be patient. You have to kind of like work through these things, like kind of be in your own lane, as much as you can be. So I'd probably tell myself that. I let my ego get in the way, let some things get in the way of like outside expectations and what I thought of myself, and that's hurt me at times. I don't know. So I just say kind of, I don't know, man, keep doing you, because without those lessons, I don't think like, I am who I am now.
Yeah.
And so I'm really just proud of, that everything I've done since freshman year.
For sure.
I'm a senior now, by the way.
Yeah. returning for a magical fifth year next year as well.
That's right.
So let me take a step back. I want to hear about some of like the bigger influences in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you some people don't have role models, but some people do. Are there people you look up to who you kind of, emulate or take values forward into kind of your training and your professional life that you kind of think about regularly?
I would say, as easy as it is, like, Father's Day is coming up. I'd definitely say my dad. Yeah, he was a decathlete himself, and so that's kind of where like the decathlon, kind of bug comes from in me is from him, because he always talked about it with so much like passion growing up and everything. So it's like something I want to do. So it's been nice to kind of learn from him, learn kind of like, how he approached it. I think he did that in a really special way. So trying to just take what I can, but also like it's hard, like finding ways to kind of be myself too. I think a lot of like, it's finding that balance between like, looking up to a role model like that, but also like knowing your own person, having confidence in like who you are and the way you approach it's like good in your own way as well.
And, in track, what gives you confidence?
Just like, nothing. Obviously, like, once it feels right and you have good performances, obviously it's easy to have confidence, but that's like easy and anyone can do that. So I think the trick really is just like having like confidence regardless of anything, because like it doesn't like, it's just having a really like firm belief in who you are, I think, as a person is just what it is. Like if you really trust yourself, who you are, that when the moment's there, you'll show up, even if you like haven't in the past. You know what I'm saying? Like even look at like statistics, be like, oh, you've only long jumped this far in the last practice, so there's no way you'll go this far based on how But like you kind of just have to be like, no, like screw that. Like I know who I am. I know what I can do. I know how to get to that moment, which is challenging, but that's just what it is. Confidence just comes from within. You have to just smile. You have to be confident. You have to do it. Like it's not really an option. You can't not be confident. At this level. I think it's just a waste of time otherwise. Yeah.
For sure. No, I love that. And now the thing that the listeners, what we're here for, Genie.
Yes.
This incredible project that the three of us are working on together. You are the COO.
That's right.
Building partnerships, building our user base. Why Genie?
Why Genie? Great question. So, injury has always been, something, and injury prevention in general is something that's always been really kind of passionate to me, because like, I saw my sister. My sister had a great track career herself. Carly Bennett, shout out her. She, dominated like, Lakewood, Colorado.
Yeah.
And then went on a run at CU Boulder, which is a great kind of storied program. But she had some issues with injury. She had a lot of stress fractures, adjusting to training. And so that kind of opened my eyes to really kind of like how prevalent this problem is, and there's nothing to do about it. Once you get one stress fracture, ask anyone, it's so easy to get that next one and that next one and that next one. And no one ever asks, oh, why'd you get the stress fracture? I trained too hard and did this, or I don't. Most of it's like, I don't really know. And so that's always kind of been like, that's so stupid, like you need to know how you get injuries. You need to know how to not get them. Being healthy is the most important thing in track and field. If you're a little bit injured, it just, you can do well, but you're not going to do your best. You're just, no matter what, it affects your brain. It affects even subconsciously. If your left foot hurts, you're not going to run as fast, because you're subconsciously thinking, unless you can totally get it out of your brain, which is super hard to do. So you need to be able to like, understand injury prevention, not prevention, just management, understand injury management, and know what, and have an option of like how you're going to solve the problem. So I think that's what Genie kind of can offer. It gives you like a better look at like your body and, what you're doing. And obviously we're biased because we're track people, and that's kind of the injuries we see, but like, this happens everywhere. Like every athlete, is injury. We're watching the NBA Finals, and the Pacers just made the final last night. Go Pacers! But I mean, that's just because they're like the healthiest team right now. They just played the Knicks. The Knicks are kind of beat up. They're a little banged up. They Thibodeau plays them too much. Like it, and that kind of stuff matters. It's really a longevity contest, and everyone can benefit from that.
Yeah.
And all these people, especially when you get older, injuries are way more common. Your body, it takes way more time to recover. So if you want to run a marathon and you're 28 years old, you're not that old, but your body's still going to deteriorate faster. So a lot of people don't run marathons, don't do this because they get little aches and pains, and they kind of say, oh, they're a ropey, ROPY, random old person. Like the classic, but that's just you can do something. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. If you're on top of your stuff, but a lot of people will stop running. They'll stop running hard. They'll stop competing. They'll stop doing what they love, just because they kind of get little injuries, and it's a mentally tasking thing. Even if they don't realize, it's just kind of not worth it to go run today because my back is sore and this is that. And that's part of the game, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be as bad.
Yeah.
I hope we can. I really want to inspire everyone. Hopefully Genie is a tool for people to where they can just kind of keep going. You don't have to stop. You can keep running. You can keep being an athlete. You never have to stop if you want to do it. And injury is the reason people stop.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think, really articulating kind of what the impact, I guess, of injuries, and, you alluded to it there, this is personal experience to you. And I think how have those personal experience really kind of driven you to want to become a founder? This is not just a problem that you're suffering, but it's a problem that you're trying to solve too.
I just feel like being a founder is just bigger than anything else, and that's kind of how I've always wanted to do. It's being versatile, being it comes back to that. That's just a core identity to me, being able to do a bunch of different things at a high level. That's what a founder is. We're putting out 100 different fires. I mean, we've been working on this, and we've been doing just all kinds of work. We've been in every. I've been learning so much about AI, machine learning, hardware. I didn't know anything about that in January. I didn't know anything. I couldn't tell you one thing about it. Yeah. And now I feel like I have a pretty solid knowledge of it. And that's just been learning. I've been learning from this guy how to, how to talk to people, how to communicate, how to, reach out for what you want. It's also, and it just, it's always working on things, and so that's why I like being a founder so much. You can kind of do whatever. It's a lot better than just kind of having a standard job, checking in, checking out. It's, you get to be creative, and that's just so fun.
And I guess it's one of the things that I think about, on a personal level. You spoke earlier about decathlon being about challenge and versatility and getting to experience lots of parts of track and field. How do you think your experience as an athlete is really driving your passion, your experience, your kind of drive to succeed as a founder? And how do you find those two things similar? Because I find there's lots of similarities. I think, you're competitive, this is a competitive space. Tell us how you think those two things align.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's competitiveness. That's what being a founder is. We have to be the best at what we do. Because other people will do it. People we're not the only ones out here, trying to create something. That's what human beings do. So yeah, it's just being ultra competitive. It's being, something I talk about a lot. Something as a training group we talked about a lot too is kind of how you do anything is how you do everything. If you take track super seriously, you lock it on that. But if you go home and kind of just you're kind of just lazy, or you're not focused on things, you're not keeping your mind engaged, then it's gonna bleed over, But the harder you work at something outside of it, the harder you work at something on the track. It becomes part of who you are. How I treat track and field is how I treat Genie. It's the same. It's hard. It's full throttle. It's it's what we do. It's just simply what we do. That's it.
Yeah, and we spoke before about the challenges and that being really integral part of decathlon. What have been the biggest challenges you've encountered building Genie so far that you necessarily didn't expect?
It's just been the learning curve of everything. Obviously, I've dreamed of being a founder, but you don't think about how hard it is to actually make these connections and one of my main jobs is talking to people, reaching out to people, and You're talking to people that don't really want to talk to you, and talking to people even though you know you have to talk to them, but you don't even know what you're really gonna say or what value they're gonna have or how to not feel awkward while doing it or how to like, you have to kind of let them speak and then take what you can from that and move on to something else and not getting ahead of yourself. Some people can say, oh, we have a great idea, or you talk to someone and say, oh, I have this awesome idea, we should do this, this, and this, but you're here on the timeline. You're back here. You can't do that yet because you have to take care of this, this, and this. But you have to keep this in your memory and and work towards that. And I don't know. It's just balancing kind of where you are and where you're going. Where you're communicating with all these other people and things, and connecting with our other founders, seeing what they're doing, how it all works. It's just like I don't know. It's a big web. It's keeping it all together in your head. It's helped me be organized. I don't think I'm the most organized person ever, but this has really helped me kind of like get my bearings on organization, time management, things like that.
Yeah. And my next question is, tell me about the team. Tell me the story of, how you met the co-founding team and, how do you find working in a team with two British people?
Yeah. No, it's been great. It's awesome because I didn't know, a year ago today, I didn't know Ewan Bradley or Stuart.
Bladone.
Stuart Bladone. I didn't know them, and now they've grown into some of my closest friends. So obviously, I knew. Obviously, I've been on the team here at Duke for 4 years, so I knew they were coming in. We have new decathletes, new training partners. Awesome. I knew they were both from England, which was like
where?
I didn't say that. And so I'm like, all right, cool. We have some international talent. It's gonna be awesome. And so I was actually at this summer. Fortunately, I was able to go to the Paris Olympics, not to compete, unfortunately. Maybe one day, but
soon.
Yeah, we'll be. I was watching, and then Stuart like DM me, or we follow each other on Instagram. Where he say, hey man, you're in Paris. I see that. Like, let's hang out. So I literally just it was like I don't know 2 a.m. in Paris. Maybe it was midnight, and we like met at a bar and got like a drink, and just kind of met, introduced each other, and he immediately was just a great guy. So that was really fun to meet him there, and then we got to Durham, we hung out of course, and then with you, I remember when I first met you, it was like early. We kind of just got into Durham, me and some other friends, and it was really impressive. You said, yeah, like, hey man, I just got to America for I'm about to live here. I've been here like once. You want to hang out? I'm like, sure, yeah. So he just came over, and I don't know, it was just really like they just fit in really like awesome. Obviously, we became really good friends after that. Kind of slowly but surely, it became great. And then, I didn't expect to even start something. Obviously, I knew one day, like in the back of my mind, it'd be great to start a company, start a business, doing something like that. But I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was gonna be this, and neither did they. And then, I don't know, kind of things started happening. I found out like they both had this strong passion for founding stuff and being entrepreneurs. So we kind of, we're in an ice bath one day, kind of just came to be this idea of Genie. At the time, didn't have a name, obviously, but we both united about the struggle of decathlon, the struggle of being healthy and not getting hurt. We've all dealt with injuries, and so it became like all of a sudden, just meeting these two guys, training with them, to being like, wow, these guys are going to be a huge part of my life going forward. Which has just been great, and they've been awesome. I've learned so much from you and Stuart. So.
Awesome. And there's obvious culture differences. 2 Brits, 1 American.
Yeah.
I want to take a step back.
Yeah.
And I got a bit of a challenge for you, Mikey. I'm going to give you a series of British words.
Okay.
And you need to put these British words in sentences. Okay?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Number 1.
Okay.
Knackered.
Oh, I love it. I don't know. I would say you come back from the bar or something and said, "Oh, last night I got completely knackered." Is that right?
No.
Right? No.
No. Knackered is like.
It sounds like.
So you'd say I was absolutely. So we've been working on this pitch deck all week. Yeah. I'm knackered. It's like I'm really tired.
You're exhausted.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
You're not like
no.
hungover.
No.
Okay.
Dodgy.
Oh, it's like, I mean, I know this one. It's like a rough part of town, so I would say, it's, I don't know, Cheshire is pretty dodgy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chuffed.
Oh man, I gotta think on this one. Chuffed?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you're like, I don't know. Maybe you're like really full. I would say, I don't know. I'd say, like, oh man, that Indian place just left me totally chuffed or something. That can't be right. That can't.
Not quite, isn't it? Close. Chuffed is like I'm like really, really happy, really like pleased with. So I'm like chuffed with. Like I'm absolutely chuffed with how. Yeah, like I'm absolutely chuffed with how that pitch went.
No way.
Yeah. I'm chuffed with how I ran.
Chuffed. That sounds, that's like blunt though. How's that? That doesn't sound
Chuffed.
happy.
Like
thrilled.
Yeah, like super great. Like you know.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll use that. I don't think you've ever used that.
I feel like I do. I'm
Okay.
chuffed. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know. Waffling.
Well, that means you're just like, it's like, yeah, me and Stu were just waffling about
Yes.
this idea earlier.
Yes.
We're just gonna shoot
Yeah,
and
he's
shoot.
got it. Like rambling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gobsmacked.
Gobsmacked. That's not real.
Yeah, it is.
That's not a real
No,
word.
I think I say this.
I've not ever heard you say that.
I think I do say
I
this.
think you said that.
I was.
Gobsmacked?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, I was. Okay. Oh, man, I was driving to the mall today, and I just got all turned around. I was like really gobsmacked. It's like you were confused or something. I don't know.
No. Close. It's like you would say it. Like you're like shocked or amazed.
Really?
So you'd be like,
Okay, then,
or like if someone said something
Yeah.
like crazy, you'd be like, oh, I was gobsmacked. They said that.
Gotcha. You're
Or like,
blown
you know,
away. You were, yeah.
Like, so for example, it's like, you know, mate, I'm gobsmacked.
Okay.
He knows how to make a cup of tea. That type of thing.
But you'd be gobsmacked.
I'd be gobsmacked if you could make a cup of tea.
Yeah. Not
Okay. We got a couple more. Taking the mick. Taking the mick.
Spell that.
Like it's 3 words. Taking
Yeah. No.
the mick. M-I-C-K. You got this.
Taking the mick.
Taking the mick.
You say like, I'm just taking a piss or something. But like,
No, so you can just say, I say taking the piss.
taking the mick. So same thing.
Yeah, but no, you taking the mick, taking the piss, kind of similar thing.
Similar. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd be like,
You say taking the mickey. As-
Mickey.
Taking the mickey, taking the mick. Same thing.
Sounds kind of dirty, dude. I'll be honest. All right. I would say, I don't know. I was talking with Stu earlier, and he was just like, I don't know, just totally taking a mick with me. It was just,
Yeah.
it was
It's like
messing around.
it's like it's like making fun of someone, or like
Making fun of someone.
so like, oh, are you taking the mick? Or you say, oh, don't worry, I'm just taking the mick.
Why? Where does that even come from?
Don't know.
That
Who
doesn't
knows?
make sense.
Right. Okay, we've got a few
That's
more.
good. I like that.
Naff.
I might use that.
Naff.
Naff?
Naff.
Spell.
N-A-F-F.
Naff?
Yeah.
Oh God. Dude, I don't know. Like, would you use it like naft? Like, would you use it in the past?
No, never.
No,
Always in the
never.
present.
Always in
Yeah,
the present.
always in the
Like
present.
dude, I don't even know how to use that in a sentence. Naff. I don't know. It seems like I'm just gonna say it's definitely like a pub you go to.
No.
Let's go to Naff. I'd go there.
It could be. That'd be a pretty good pub. It's like
No, all the pubs in UK are,
I mean,
you know, like
ye old.
the donkey and,
Yeah.
and the quail or something.
the donkey and the quail's egg.
Yeah, exactly.
Naff means like uncool. So like,
Oh, that was Naff.
that branding feels naff.
Oh, okay.
So I'd say it. Okay,
It sounds
we'll
really
do.
Like, it sounds like Southern.
We'll do
UK.
2 more.
People in Brighton would say that. People in Stoke-on-Trent would say that.
Butty.
Butty.
B-U-T-T-Y.
Butty.
Butty.
I don't know. I would say like ew, like that shirt's pretty butty or something. Like it's gross or something like that. No,
Butty's actually a thing. It's a sandwich.
it's a sandwich.
Yeah, it's like a sandwich with like normally buttered. That's why it's called a butty.
Okay.
And you normally have it with like bacon, like a bacon butty.
So it's just a bacon sandwich. It's like a breakfast thing, or is
Yeah.
it just kind of like
Or you can have a chip butty, which is like
fries
uh,
for you?
yeah, like chips or fries
Fries.
in bread,
Okay.
normally with like ketchup or like brown sauce or something. It's pretty good. I'll make you one at some point.
Doesn't sound that.
No, no, dude, it's awesome.
So would you order that at a
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, can I have a bacon butty?
at like a restaurant?
Yeah, or like a cafe.
And it's just like a piece of toast
It's like bread
and butter.
and butter and butter, not butter,
Butter.
butter, bread and butter and
An ER at the end.
then like bacon or like
Okay.
chips. You know.
But you wouldn't put like like egg on it.
You could have like an egg, like it's basically like a sandwich.
How about like a bacon, like lettuce and tomato?
That's wrong with a sandwich,
Okay.
I'd say, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
this is more of like a.
Okay, last one.
Yeah.
Nippy.
That's like cold.
Yeah, he knows.
The
Okay, that was awesome.
That one's kind of.
Yeah.
That one's,
I just wanted the listeners to really understand your experience with living with.
it's been a battle.
Living.
It's been a battle.
What was it yesterday? I said ensuite.
Yeah, that's not a word. Never heard.
Ensuite. Yeah, like a second bathroom for like a bathroom in your bedroom for American listeners. You know?
I always have to remind this guy that we live in America, and he moved here on his own volition.
I am just gonna move on slightly because
Cool.
we have exciting news from Gotsis.
Oh, do we?
We do. I'm just looking. Jeff
Let's see this.
Tesla just ran 408 in the 15.
That's pretty.
He just ran a meeting best for the Gotsis.
That's pretty.
We're waiting for the complete scores. Let's have a look.
Oh, yeah.
Total result. Here we go.
All right.
Sander, what do you reckon Sander did? Let me get Mikey to guess this.
Yeah, I know. I saw you had 8K before. I bet he scored 88. I'm going 8888. Final answer.
8909.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa, what did he run the 15 in? Like 410?
He ran. It's not coming up. It's the full score's there. Let's have a look.
Is it like total? Yeah.
Have a look. Have a look. I can find it.
That's
Yeah, the 15's not. The 15's not. I don't actually know. This is just the
He
total
had a
results.
run crazy.
Yeah. Kyle Garland.
He got second.
He got second.
Oh wow, so he ran a good 15.
Yeah.
I bet he scored 80. Shit, 89. So he scored 87, like 14.
86.26.
So he ran like 440.
Yeah.
All right.
Any other big performances? And then Ehammer third.
Oh wow.
National record for Switzerland.
He broke his own. So I bet he scored 85 then.
85.75.
Okay, good.
A couple other notable
for him.
performances. Sammy Ball, UK, 8,100 points.
Oh, okay.
He came 12th. Lewis Church.
Good.
Lewis Church scored 8K again.
8K again.
8,093. He must have ran a pretty quick 15. Shout out to Sammy and Lewis, my guys.
Tell me about the Americans.
The Americans. Who else was there? Heath did 8,430.
All right.
Pretty good. He came
solid.
seventh.
It's early in the year.
Damian Warner, 6th place, 8,527. Aiden Owens, 8,486.
How about the German?
We had Nicholas the Germans came third, well, joint third. Ehammer and Nicholas Carl tied
They
for
tied?
85.75. They
both
tied.
Scored.
And then Leo
Cole
scored.
Cole had a run like
Yeah.
12.
And then Leo scored 85.55. That's pretty good.
Yeah, not his best.
Not his finest, but
It's
yeah.
pretty solid. Holy
Sorry, listeners, we just had to intrude with Gotsis results.
So someone out there was gonna like that.
Keep in the priorities. Coach Wilborn will love that.
Just hope and guys, any of the guys we just mentioned, if you're listening,
Yeah.
hello. I'll see you guys
Yeah.
soon.
This is tuning in for Team Genie.
Yeah. We'll get you guys some genies. It'll help. Don't worry. I know you guys have some nagging injuries right now. I know.
Get yourself a genie.
Yeah, throw on a genie. We'll help you out.
Come join the movement, lads.
Check your DM.
And also some great shout outs to Anna Hall for 7K. Let's talk about that for a second.
That's pretty crazy.
201.
201-800.
Yeah.
Anna Hall scored 7K. Number 2 all time
Yeah.
in the heptathlon. That's pretty nuts. Also, shout out Aaron Marsh.
Yeah, Aaron Marsh. Big up the lad.
With a nice PR.
That's huge.
That's great.
661, 6170, something around that.
Hope
Yeah.
she's, I was texting her before this. I hope she's enjoying.
Yeah, I think she's been enjoying the Austrian
Yeah.
sunshine. They had great weather in Gotsis this weekend, so it's awesome. But yeah, that's the dream,
Shout out Anna Hall, Colorado legend right there.
Mikey backing his Coloradans.
That's right.
Awesome. So it's been great chatting to you, Mikey. I loved it. Where can the